Lions find themselves in the foothills of a sporting Everest. They said before the tour had started they were going to have to produce the best rugby ever played, and today is the delivery date for that pledge. 12 years on from the last series win in Australia, 4 years after victory in South Africa, the four home nations are again united as one as the British and Irish Lions take on the world and Tri-Nations champions, Australia. Now, if you're watching on Sky Digital and you're wondering what that quiz icon on the bottom right of your screen is, well, it's your chance for you and a friend to be in Sydney for the third test. And all you need to do is press the red button on your handset, which gets you into the interactive quiz, and then follow the instructions. Right, coming up, test 1 of 3 at the Gabba in Brisbane. It's tingle down the spine time. Deep breath. Here we go. Our commentators are Stuart Barnes and Miles Harrison.
And from Limerick to Luton, from Dundee to Dunvant, good morning to you for this unique sporting experience. And for the British and Irish Lions of 2001, it's Judgment Day number 1. Somebody here in Brisbane will take an almighty grip on this series. 1-0 in a 3-match contest, Stuart, is a position of great power.
Yeah, this is vital for the Lions. Rob McQueen is worried that Australia's preparation is slightly underdone. The Lions have looked very sharp this week. They need this one, not just to get it 1-0, but to make a psychological advantage against the world champions.
So the sides, and Australia, who the Lions feel have rather advertised their game plan with this selection. Nathan Gray has won the berth at inside centre. Owen Finnegan starts on the blind side flank. Power there, ball in hand elsewhere. The Lions know what's coming. Can they do anything about it? There's a contented, if you're Australian, rather snug feel to this team now. The new additions to the family this season, winger Andrew Walker and prop Nick Stiles. Walker will be the kicker. Now, the Lions have, during the course of this tour, been dealt a cruel run of injuries, and there's no doubt some absent friends would have played today. Neil Back is one of those men. It's Richard Hill who moves to the key position of open side. Martin Corrie, not even in the original 37, gets his chance at number. Corrie is bang in form. So is Rob Henderson, who gets his opening at centre. Wingers Daffy James and Jason Robinson, they're also in great form, but they will need to scale even greater heights today versus Roth, Walker and Latham. And a look at the talent sitting on the bench now. If Walker's kicking game blows up, look who's waiting. Matt Burke. Matt Cobain is also certain to play a part. Ditto Austin Healey for the Lions. And will Ian Bolshaw emerge to write the poetic and prophetic line at the end? There are some wonderful competitions in this sport, not least the World Cup, but equally Lions tours have their own special place. The ultimate selection is how one of the Lions players described his good news this week. It doesn't come much bigger than this. The world champions versus the finest Britain and Ireland has to offer.
And you know, because it's so big in the Northern Hemisphere, it means so much to all the 37 players selected. You do feel that the Lions might just want it a shade more than Australia.
And down that tunnel, Martin Johnson will be talking to his team. Secure of his place in history after the tour of 1997 to South Africa. Now he tries to repeat that feat with a new team. Only 4 of this 15 took part in that series 4 years ago. Smith, Wood, Hill and Johnson, the man himself. And 3 of them there were at the helm. Johnson the captain again, the wisest again, but now the oldest. At 31, it's probably his last go. But today is also about the 14 who will go with the skipper, hunting for glory.
Well, don't talk to Martin Johnson about his place in history. He's not interested in history. He's interested in the here and now. Brisbane, he's interested in taking the world champions.
Here come the Lions. And Keith Wood knowing The elation of selection lasts for about 10 minutes. That was the message to the Lions camp this week. The rest of the week is dedicated to the task of winning. And Jason Robinson, part of Martin Johnson's side, what a year it's been for him, Stuart.
Yeah, just thinking about that comment about lasting 10 seconds, the elation. Phil Vickery, what did he say? It will be the most horrible feeling ever to go home a loser. It's not about selection, it's about winning.
But Robinson feeling this for the first time since his move from rugby league, the 9th dual international. Here's John Eales, Australia, a side littered with greats and nobody greater than their captain. This is the only prize still to elude the great man, and he's in charge of a nation which refuses to accept defeat. And if the Lions beat this team with this kind of backing here in Brisbane today, they will deserve it. They will deserve it.
Great sporting nation, fanatical support for the Wallabies. Some great runners. We talked about the Lions forwards, but Totai Kefu, along with Owen Finnegan, they'll run at the heart of the Lions. This is going to be physical, all right.
There is a foaming discontent between these two sides. Yes, it's been built up by the media, but there can rarely have been a more ill-tempered build-up to a series. Rows over referees, violence in matches, tactics at the line-out and the scrum, underhand or not, it's been simmering.
Anything has been going in the attempt to get the upper hand in this series. For fully 2 weeks before we've got to this moment, the first test. We waited 4 years from that great day in Durban when the Lions defied the odds. They're going to have to be a lot better today to beat Australia, because this is a seriously good champion team.
And what an astonishing number of fans that have made the trip from back home. They have been dubbed the rugby version of the Barmy Army. Well, there's nothing balmy about this lot. This is the place to be.
Well, Brisbane was like Ebbw Vale this afternoon. I could not believe it. Astonishing atmosphere.
And if we're looking for possible weaknesses, how about the new cap Styles at prop? And the Lions will feel they have an edge with the kicker, Wilkinson versus Walker.
I'll tell you who else they've targeted. John Eales. The Lions think that Eales is not at top form, and I think you'll see Grewcock and Johnson really trying to put the heat on in the line-out. But Eales, well, he responds to pressure, doesn't he?
We start with the Australian national anthem.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Australia, performed this evening by Christine Arnoux.
Australians, oh
Christine Anu. Australia have never beaten the Lions in Brisbane, 6 meetings before. But the nature of Australian rugby union has changed within the last couple of decades, especially the last 10 years.
That's right, they've never played the Lions before as world champions. 1991 in the Northern Hemisphere, and of course 1999 in the Northern Hemisphere. Australia are the greatest rugby nation on earth in the last decade of the last century, and the Lions have got a massive task to wrest that authority and power from them.
Well, when a tour starts, nobody gets the final selection correct. But it's those 15 men who will be battling out for the Lions. There's Andre Watson, our referee. Of course, traditionally here for an Australian test, it's waltzing Matilda. So here we go, the first match in the Bundaberg Rum Series between Australia and the British and Irish Lions. Too often in sport these days we are denied rarity. But the Lions are a scarce breed. They come out every 4 years. It's 12 years since they've been here, and they're much better for it. All looking forward to this. And these early exchanges to establish control will be so vital to the rest of the game. That's Kefu. And away by Latham, who's got a mighty left boot. He's got a long wave. It's gone straight to Perry. Good angle on the kick. Over Finnegan. Walker is back. And the Lions know that if they are to kick today, they must kick right on the button. Has to be precise. Perry involved again with the high one. Finnegan. He's a rock. Larkham. Deflection off Johnson. Quinnell takes charge, but there were 5 Wallabies there to meet him. Howley wants support for his number 8. He gets it. Howley out to Henderson. And there's some space there. Latham. Frantic start, as you'd expect.
A lot of kicking early on, and I think you'll see that from the Australian back 3. Walker, Latham and Roth are all very good kickers of the ball. I think they'll try and turn the Lions and try and pick them off if Robinson and David James try and counter. Expect plenty of boot tonight.
Keith Wood, he's been throwing so well on tour, and he finds Johnson.
Collapsing the maul.
And the maul is pulled down, which leads to a penalty.
Well, Graham Henry and Andy Robinson had a chat with Andre Watson, I think it was, Thursday afternoon, talking about areas to look out for. And I think one of them, from the Lions' perspective, was the collapsing of the driving maul from the line-out. The Australian teams have struggled. It's an area where the Lions are very powerful, and they will look to get this sort of ball, but a lot closer to the line. Johnson, Grucock, Corrie, 3 jumpers against Eels, and of course Giffen. It's an area where the Lions need advantage tonight.
Wood throws again. Grucock, good quick ball. Howley gets it out. Wilkinson invites O'Driscoll onto it. Well taken by Howley, right off his bootstraps there. Wonderful pickup. Quinnell to Wilkinson, and on to Robinson from Perry. Now Robinson goes to the corner. Oh, this is a fairy tale. Absolutely incredible. Jason Robinson. You can't take that in.
Astonishing. Great hands from Perry, one-on-one, that's what the Lions wanted. In and out, the greatest defence in the world, lacerated, and Robinson, he stepped up about 5 levels to face the Wallabies. He's found about 5 gears. Latham left floundering. What a moment for Robinson, the British and the Irish Lions. Astonishing.
And now Johnny Wilkinson staying cool while all around him in the stands lose their heads. Wilkinson, oh, it was close. But that is a marker thrown down by the Lions, and Robinson given one-on-one prove yet again that he is one of the best, if not the best.
You know, Latham expected him to come off the left foot. He's been cutting in all tour ever since he's come to Union. He threatened to cut in, and then he just went on the outside. Blazing acceleration, a magical moment.
But one thing is for certain, it won't make Australia roll over. But James is taking Australia on now. Support is there from Corrie. That's the Australia 10-metre line. Howley out to Henderson. In comes Tom Smith. Didn't take the ball with him. It's been lost in contact, and the whistle had to go.
You know, that try's a lot more important than just 5 points, though, because the Aussies do have such great belief in themselves. The Lions needed something to say, yeah, we can take them on. They've got a slight advantage in terms of pack weight. Now they've got the mental edge, at least back to parity. Good start.
What about this Australia midfield, and Larkham trying to marshal them. Walker comes in off the wing. The bodies pile in. It's a battle on the floor, which the referees are letting go on this tour. Gray, good pass to Finnegan. Shipped on from Styles, didn't go forward. This is Jeremy Paul, so dangerous in the loose, the hooker. Like an extra back row man. Gregan's arrived, and there are numbers out there, but it's a poor pass. And it's drifted forward.
That was interesting. The Lions were waiting for Australia to come down the middle. They didn't. Larkham went wide. And Jeremy Paul out wide against Keith Wood.
And Larkham caught a move that he didn't against the Maori.
Yeah. Running the show there. And certainly we saw Jeremy Paul's running lines as well. Him and Keith Wood, two of the most effective hookers in the world in open play.
Now the Lions have had so many injuries on this tour. They don't want one now. What, just 6 minutes into this test? Martin Corrie is down. Jason Robinson. So many men before have played for Great Britain and Ireland at Rugby League and Rugby Union. Nobody has gone from League to Union. And he keeps writing his own scripts. Quinnell off the base of the scrum, but not getting isolated. Good carry from him. Howley's kick. James may have got in front of him there. Referee's playing advantage.
Number 2 from the offside position.
Well, in fact, the offside has gone to the Lions. They've been a bit fortunate there. And they've got an extra 10 metres.
I tell you what, that's a good kick from Rob Howley. And hasn't he started well? Picked one off his bootstraps that helped the Lions get position for the try. That was a lovely hanging kick. And David James, again, doing the honest yards, putting pressure on Latham. It's been a horrendous start for Chris Latham. Left for dead on the outside, and the pressure forced him to drop the ball. And now Wilkinson, he's 42 metres, but he'll need this because every point against Australia counts.
And there's no doubt that Wilkinson will already be smarting from having missed that difficult conversion. He thinks everything is possible that he takes on. He wouldn't do it unless he thought the ball could go over the post.
It was 13 out of 14 kicks at goal for 14. 13 out of 15, and the Lions need that incredible ratio to stay high.
He is a master marksman, and he needs to be at his very best tonight. Wilkinson to try and extend the Lions' lead. Again, it's close.
That's a bit of a worry for the Lions, because you felt Wilkinson, a proven test match kicker, had a real edge over Andrew Walker. And really from that distance, that wasn't one of Johnny Wilkinson's better efforts, but things are going the Lions' way.
Well, it wasn't a great restart from Australia, and the Lions working hard on this yesterday in training, expecting the quick restart. Richard Hill will be all over the opposition in that circumstance.
The Lions felt there was a knock on there. It's hard to know why that one didn't go ahead.
Well, why it's taken for a second time, we don't know, but the Lions don't really care. They're getting on with it. Quinnell, Howley, Wilkinson, Corrie, back to full fitness. What an impact he's made on this tour. Was selected as vice-captain for the England Tour to North America. And joined a week in. There's Johnson looking around, knowing Quinnell will be there. Wilkinson, it's a busy start for the Lions, and that is an unfortunate end to that move, because again they had men, but Gregan is aware that Australia could go from here. It's a tremendous start to this game. It's promising so much. Perry caught by Nathan Gray. Had a terrific match for Australia, Nathan Gray, which cemented his place in this side. Richard Hill, strong as an ox. Howley, Wilkinson, going for the low slider that time. Latham, Larkin. Well, he doesn't want to run into those three. And the Lions have turned it over, and Howley might want to strike from here. Well covered by Styles. The only uncapped player in the Australian team tonight, and he made his contribution there. Perry. Well, Robinson's only little, so is Wilkinson, and they got down in the dirt between them. And there's Keith Wood starting to rage. Howley again, Quinnell. It's with the Lions at the moment. They need another score.
You know, Quinnell should really have given that ball. Couple of men out wide there, but worrying moments for the Aussie bench in the early stages. What the Lions forwards are doing that they didn't do against New South Wales, they're unloading balls out of tackles. We've seen Quinnell, where he was running and running and running, now giving passes, and it's just moving the point of attack a bit, and it's caught Australia on the hoof. That's a good return from Owen Finnegan.
Johnson, again it's quick ball, and this is what the Lions want. Wilkinson, Henderson is through the first line. O'Driscoll's going with him. Oh, so close. Now Roth might go. Down the other way, nobody's back. All about the bounce here, and Roth just can't take it. Wilkinson's got it. Breathtaking, end to end. Quinnell, Wood, nearly a try at either end there. Vickery to Corrie. Howley, Henderson, so close to creating one for O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll this time has chipped in behind Walker, and Walker's carried over. Robinson was breathing down his neck.
And that was mature stuff from Brian O'Driscoll. No extra men, it was a weighted chip. I've watched him practicing, and that was a beautiful kick. Robinson was never going to score the try, but he was going to make sure that Walker carried over. Fabulous sequence of play, really. Rob Henderson, he started at third choice inside enter. He's bust the Wallabies defence at the inside centre channel. Oh, what a game.
Amidst all of that, you know, great intercept from Roth. It was a try.
Yeah, it would have been, certainly would have been. Joe Roth reads the game so well in attack and defence, though.
But he had the nerve to leave his post.
He's got licence to roam. He's a brilliant footballer, Joe Roth. Mesmeric in the Super 12 final against the Natal Sharks, and he is a real danger man.
Nick Stiles in the walls. It will take its toll this game. Graham Henry said before the tour, come the first test match, I want my team to take control. And that's exactly what's happening. The Lions are really thinking about this.
Now here's an important moment as well. The Lions really do fancy their chances. They have all tour against the scrum. Nick Stiles, they want to get to him. A good scrummage platform, and they can explode from here.
Can they build on this? It's a big scrum from the Lions. Referee's playing an advantage. There's a boot in from Gregan. That's a penalty. First off, now reset the scrum and apply the squeeze. Wilkinson and Johnson confer. It's 3 points in the offing, but is this the moment to apply heat? It is.
That tells you about Johnson's mindset at the moment. They feel they've got them. They want to rock this Wallaby scrum. A big moment in the match after just 12 minutes. Double shunt coming.
Australia hold steady and then they collapse. Now work that one out.
Nobody's wrongdoing, fellas. On this side.
And you hear Andre Watson say, nobody at fault.
Well, Nick Stiles and Glenn Panaho are going to have to scrummage for their lives at the moment. And here you can see the Lions fans booing because, surprise, surprise, a boot's come off. And it was a theme when Australia played at Twickenham against England. When the heat was on and they were on their own line, players go down with injuries, and the Twickenham crowd were incensed. They know exactly what they're doing here, but they really are under the cosh.
And what must be in the referee's mind here is, well, those two words, penalty try. It's too early yet, but one penalty awarded. That collapsed scrum, according to the official, he couldn't apportion blame. But if the Lions keep up the pressure and Australia keeps sliding back, it could be a penalty try. And of course that's underneath the post. It's 7 points.
And I just think it's so good how sharp the Lions' backs have looked, you know. Johnny Wilkinson's been playing this on the game line, so they've got options. Quinnell would love to get at Larkham here as well, you know that. If they could just put a bit of a wheel on, take Kefu, who's packing down on the open side, out of it. There's George Smith at 8, that's interesting. And they have a sniff. Just watch that. Kefu is on the open side flank. He's not as quick as Smith. There is a chance there.
So important the Lions hold their discipline here. Well, Howley's going. He's giving it to Quinnell. Larkham couldn't stop him. Needed two other men to commit to the tackle. Larkham's on the wrong side. And so's the ball now as far as the Lions are concerned, and it's Australia who get the penalty for coming in at the side. These are crucial moments as the Lions look to build a lead.
Yeah, strong defence from the Wallabies. Larkham getting the doormat treatment then, and Martin Corrie, well, he's over the top of Larkham, but he caught a few studs early. I just wonder, they felt it was with them, but that was a, for Johnny Wilkinson, what would have been a comfortable penalty. 8-0 would have looked good. But look at that from Latham. I mean, we watched him for 10 minutes, drill balls 50 metres down the tube. He's panicking at the moment.
Well, we've got degrees in hindsight up here, of course. But 8-0 would look a lot better.
We won't say what we said about Latham's kicking and what that might do to the Lions as well, but at the moment it's very pretty if you're British and Irish. Great challenge.
And fine work from Eales to claw that one back. There's another big bear in Finnegan. Giffin got a blow in training this week. Was doubtful for a day or two. And the Australians look for width as Latham finds Walker. He's a wizard of a runner. He really is when he has a chance to show his paces, but so is Robinson. And it's one of the great battles on show tonight. Robinson at the moment, well, he's won one battle. Not against Walker. Here's Stiles.
You see who made the tackle on Walker, Danny Grucock, crossing, and there's big hits coming in from all the Lions forwards.
Gray finding Larkham. Quinnell did well to get a hand on him.
is Scott Quinnell. We're seeing him playing far wider tonight, away from the action he's putting